Hello everyone. We are about to start the session now, and I hope you all hear me loud and clear. So, wishing you all a very good evening. I would like to welcome you all for Oracle 2020 Personal Development and Motivational Program. As perabeats, we always try to do something beyond the ordinary, and this time we have organized this event as a discussion session through online, and hope this will lead you all along your desired pathways. So first, I would like to welcome the resource persons we have for today with us. Senior Treasurer, Professor Liyanage Amarakirti, Senior Treasurer of Perabeats Media Society, and Senior Lecturer, Dr. Janaka Vijayakula Surya, Senior Advisor of Perabeats Media Society, and Lecturer Mr. Malinda Hulugala. Thank you, sir, for joining with us today. So, coming to introduce the keynote speaker for today, you all know him very well, and he's one of the legends we have in the music industry, a revolutionary musician. So, as a member of the most successful pop duo and a great inspiration in the society, he is none other than Mr. Bhathiya Jayakodi. So I warmly welcome you for Oracle 2020 and a very good evening to you, sir. So how are you, sir? Can the host please unmute?
Yes, now I can hear, because I couldn't do that because you guys have to do that for me. The host had to unmute me.
Yeah, sorry for that, sir.
No problem at all. So I've been good, actually. Everything has been good. We have been, for the last 3 weeks, we have had a lot of these kind of, webinars and stuff, and everything has been okay for now, up to now.
Okay, I warmly welcome you, sir, again. And coming up for today's topic, the current situation, the post-pandemic period, the new normal we are all about to experience. So it's been almost 2 months that we are experiencing social distancing, and now along with the concept of work at home and for students self-learning through online platforms. So I would like to know how you see this picture as a whole, as a person having so many employees working with you, and how this has affected people in Sri Lanka.
Okay, well, see, where can I start? Okay, so I must say that now everything, see, when something really affects us, all of us go into this whole thing where we say, okay, look here, we are affected with this issue we have, and there are so many issues that we come up with. But if you take every day for the last 20 years, 30 years, right? Can you give me one day where you ask anybody, right, of their company, their business, and had anybody told you that these days are good? Nobody tells you that that's a good time. Every day they talk about economic recession, or either the Sri Lanka is depreciating, or either some other issue that they have. So people have been having constant issues. And when people see, so that will show you that this issue is also not here to permanently stay, or if it's here to permanently stay, It'll be there for a certain time. We will have to get used to it, but we will have to move on with it. And thus this issue will come to an end. The issue part of this will come to an end.
Yeah.
Right? So this is not a permanent thing. This is what we need to first identify. Right? Because we have been through a lot of things. If you take me, since 1996, from the year that I was born, up to now, we have had a lot of issues. We had we had the issue in 1983, we had the issues in 1988, 89, and then we had the war. The war peaked in 2000, and then we had the end of the war. Then after the end of the war, we had a new set of problems. Last April, we had a bomb, but still we managed to survive. We managed to survive because that is the human nature. So first of all, as Sri Lankans, as students, as people who have been around, what we need to know is this is also not a permanent thing. This will pass off. So the first thing you need to know is this is not the end of the world. So the first thing that, you know, as a person, you need to have a very positive attitude on things. You need to have a very positive attitude, because every issue, right, will bring out brand new thought processes, brand new ways of doing things, and a lot of array of brand new things for you to start off again from where you were, or, you know, you go down a little bit, but then you come up from there. So as an entrepreneur, as a Sri Lankan, as a person, my attitude is that.
So, sir, with that thing that this is not a permanent thing and we should move on with that. So, and along with that, sir, what are the positives and negatives as you see about this current situation? The new social concepts are building up, and a new society is creating. The new normal is about experience, and there's high use of social media. So, as undergraduates, how we should adapt to this?
Okay, so I will talk about, as an undergraduate, certain thought. See, I spoke to the Colombo University just yesterday, I think. So this kind of, you know, very similar kind of thing was asked from me. What are the opportunities we will have, or do we have opportunities, or do we have a space to go out there after we do university? And then what are we going to do beyond that? So what I told them was, see, okay, assume that, right? Assume that the whole world has come to a stop, right? And everybody is like trying to restart, right? And you all feel that, okay, now as undergraduates, you know, about to come out of university, pass out of university, as undergraduates coming out to this world, are we coming out to a world with no jobs, you know, so many issues? But my answer to that is, have you heard about the shoe salesman? No? Okay. So there was this particular, right? There was this particular company which used to make shoes, right? Now they wanted to expand into Africa. So they wanted to say they wanted to see what Africa is all about for shoes, right? It was one country in Africa. It was not whole of Africa. It was one country in Africa. So they sent two salesmen or two guys to do some sort of a research. So they said two independent guys with two attitudes. And then after about 2 months, they called them and they asked, can you tell us what we need to do? Do we need to make a shoe factory there? And do we need to you know, do shoes there, make shoes there and sell? Or is it, you know, a very bad place to do shoes? So one guy independently answers, sir, you should not make shoes here. Why? Because nobody in this country wears shoes. So nobody knows what shoes is, nobody wears shoes, so we don't need to make shoes because shoes won't sell in this market. And the other guy, completely different story. The other guy says, look, sir, this is a fantastic place to make shoes because nobody wears shoes. We can sell shoes to everybody. Okay, so that story brings a lot of thought for young people. See, prior to COVID, the world was going at a very fast pace. Everybody had a lot of competition. People had competition. There were new things happening. There were too many things happening there. Thus, people like you guys, the younger generation who are still in university and coming out, had to start at 100 kilometers per hour. But now the world has slowed down. Things are resetting. People are rethinking. Certain businesses have closed down and they're trying to restart. The world has a lot of opportunity at the moment, because the world has reset itself to a certain extent. I'm not saying completely reset, but then the world has reset itself to a certain extent, and they are trying to think of new things, new thoughts, new opportunities, new ways of doing things, which means you guys have a field out there which everybody is not running at 100 kilometers per hour. Certain people have stopped at 0, right? And all the others have slowed down to like about 30 kilometers per hour, which gives you the advantage, right, of having an equal, fair field to play your game on, right? Your brand new thoughts, the way that you see the world, the way that you see that it should happen, the way that you see that brand new thing should happen. People will give you their ear. People will hear you out. People will want fresh blood on their teams, right? And also, you will be coming out to the playing field with people who have technically slowed down, which gives you the advantage of gaining that momentum much more easier than you would have had pre-COVID. So see this as an opportunity.
Yeah. So it's been that, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So it's been the matter of thought that we should think of this situation in a positive way. So with that, there's a question from the audience, and I hope we can connect her now.
Yes.
So you can speak up.
Sir.
Who is this?
Sir, I'm Trishani.
Yes.
Sir, because of this pandemic, we were all bound to our houses, withdrawing from our daily routines. So, and it created a huge shift in our lifestyles too. So at the beginning, how were you able to manage it, sir?
Okay, that's a really good question, Trishani. Basically, what happened was when everything stopped, we were in shock, because we know that we had about 170, for example, we have nearly 140 say employees, and we knew that this is not going to be a short span, because we made calls to people that we know, we were asking around, we were speaking to other people in other countries, and we knew that this would go on for some time. So in first we were in shock, but then also when we got into shock, we just stepped back a little bit and we really spaced out, and we started observing things at a 35,000 feet view. Usually what happens is when we have a problem, we try to get into the problem and try to navigate, and we don't see where you're going. So what we did was we completely stopped. We closed up offices. We told people to stay back home. We completely stopped, and our whole team, the whole management team of all our companies, we got together. We started looking at ourselves from a 35,000 feet view. When you see it at a 35,000 feet view, you see any picture extremely clearly. So when we started observing 35,000, the whole issue or the whole problem that we are faced at a 35,000 feet view, we realized that, see, as a company, as a business, we had a lot of expenses, a lot of overheads that we were incurring because of having to come to office, maintain officers, maintain buildings, maintain pay rent, And then we had incidentals, we had car allowances, we had vehicle allowances, we had petrol allowances for our staffs. So we realized that there was a massive cost base there, which now would come down, which meant the cash flow outage would not be so bad as it is on a usual month or a usual operating, So then what we did was, taking that into account, then we just went back and we started analyzing now which clients of ours are going to stop working at the moment. And then we started to see what are the brand new business opportunities only after that. So first what we did was we made that whole, we came into a good equilibrium where our costs were coming down. Actually, our costs were coming down, right? Because we didn't have a big operational cost. And then what we did was we restructured ourselves according to that. And then it really eased down, that shock and the pressure a little bit. And then once we did that, once we got our house in order, this is when we started to then analyze what are the new opportunities. So how we got used to this whole 2 months lockdown was a very simple thing. Say there were more, if you take company A, B, C, and D, and F, G and F, it was a lot of work. But then if you take the general principle, it was step back, look at it from a 35,000 feet up point of view, right? Then first of all, identify the existing opportunity, which was cutting down the cost, and then identify how we are going to address the problems, certain problems one by one. Once we did that analytic, then we went out and searched for new opportunities. This is how we got adjusted to this situation.
That it's like doing a SWOT analysis and stepping out of the problem and analyzing yourself and searching for the new opportunities.
It is, definitely it is.
So, and that's a good explanation for that question. And so we have more resource persons for today. And with that, I would like to move on to one of our resource persons today, senior lecturer, Professor Liyanage Amalakirti. I hope we can connect him now.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Hi. So good to see you. And it was really, yes. And Bhatia, it was really inspirational. And it's really good to hear those kinds of positive words during these kind of dark times.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I, as a business person and also managing this company, the way you explained it, that really encouraging for these young entrepreneurs, and to listen to you in that aspect of you handling the company. But as a kind of creator, musician,
yeah,
I have one question and something I like you to kind of consider and also ponder. This is when you are like kind of cornered in this way, if you will, and also like you are kind of like restricted from doing anything else. One thing that creative people can do is to reflect on human existence. What does it mean to be living? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be social animal? Those things. Perhaps those kind of months of reflection and thinking can help you as a creator. And also you might be able to come up with new creative ideas after these kind of like months of hibernation. But I like you to kind of like reflect on that aspect of this.
Okay, so thank you very much, Professor. So if I could explain that in a very, 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 very short and sweet way. So what happened was, see, for the last 22 years of my life, I have been Bhatia, and as in, see, I have been one part of the brand.
Exactly. Yeah.
You all know. So what happened was, see, prior to Bhati and Santosh, if I talk about pre-Bhati and Santosh, I had a lot of free space when I used to go to school, come back, or maybe go to university and come back. I had a lot of free space to dream. I had a lot of free space to experiment. I had a lot of free space to practice. I had a lot of free space to sit and think and to really slow down and do certain creations in that space. It's like, if I can explain to you all, like if you take a very young person, how they would understand it is like somebody sharing the screen, right? Is it me? Okay,
No. Sorry for that.
So then what happens is, how this happens is like this. See, have you seen in those adventure kind of stuff that you watch, adventure movies?
Yes.
You get these people who run really fast, but suddenly they slow down, and you see everything slowly. You see the whole world stopped, and you see things moving around you, and you're just analyzing things in slow motion. That's how it was when I used to go to school. That's how it was when I used to go to uni. I could come back. I had a lot of free time. But then after a period of time, like after I put the first album, after we put the first album, and maybe after about good 2 or 3 years, things started getting really fast. And certain things that I used to appreciate, like the little things, cleaning the house, to talk with my mother, talk with my wife, maybe talk with my daughter, spend some time with them. All those things started getting crunched up a little bit. It's like, it's like this particular grid that we have on our screen right now. There are 2 people, you get more space. But then when there are about 200 people coming, you get little squares. Your whole existence starts to become like this, and then you're like, you spend some time with this person. So you really don't get space to really do anything creative. As in, you get space, but then that space has a particular start time and an expiry time.
Yeah.
But now when this kind of situation happens, there are few things that come to your mind. Right? එකක් තමයි මම ඒක මෙහෙම කියන්න මම ඒක චුට්ටක් ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියන්නම් එතකොට ඔක කට්ටියට තේරෙනවා. එකක් තමයි අපි හැමෝම අපි එක තැනක ඉඳන් ජීවිතේ උඩට යනකොට අපිට සමාජයෙන් කට්ටිය ඇවිල්ලා අපිට ඒ කියන්නේ අපිව බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකක් කරනවා, අපි උඩට ගෙනියනවා, අපි ගැන කතා කරනවා. හැබැයි ඒ කිසි දෙයකින් වැඩක් තියනවද? ඇත්තටම ගත්තොත්, if the whole internet goes down, right? If the internet also goes down, the world comes to a stop.
Yeah.
What's the use of me being Bhatia or you being yourself? We'll all just be the same.
Yeah.
So that is one reflection which really happens to you. Look, I can be Bhatia, maybe the president or the army commander, whoever. Say that this whole system stops. What have we been doing? Right? We've been creating this huge bubble, right? Which can explode anytime.
Yes.
So
they are creating.
Yeah. So you start to realize that this is a bubble that we all make.
Yeah.
Right? So the best part is, I'm not saying everybody, you guys are young and you guys also have to create your own bubbles.
Yeah.
You will have your own life to live. But always have the top part of your body inside the bubble so that you can enjoy it, but have your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Because when the bubble breaks, you'll still be stable. So this is something that you asked me, Professor, that really got refreshed. It's like the screen, that thought really got refreshed. So I'm going to use your terms because you guys use these refreshing of screens and doing a lot of apps, and you all use that. So I'm going to use a lot of your terminology. So there was a refresh button hit on that thought. That was number one. And then there was no calls. There were no people trying to call you, ask you things. Everything suddenly went down. then you tend to realize, am I really important?
Yes.
I think I'm so important because I get 100 calls a day. But now suddenly the first 2 weeks, nobody's calling you. Only maybe your closest friend calling to ask you how you're doing. Beyond that, nobody's calling you with regard to expertise, opinion, work. Nobody's calling you for anything. Right? Everybody is shut down. Then you tend to realize, what is my importance to this world?
That what I have done to this world, that
No, what I have
done.
done is something else. You know what you have done, but then what is my importance? What's the use of me to this world? Then you start to realize. So the moment you start to realize that, then comes, you start searching, okay, what can I do to the world in this instance? You again start, that whole process all over again. So that is what happened. Isellama mama baluwe, okay, then mama, as a guy who sings and creates, me velawe sindu kiyala hariyanne naha. Me velawe mukut kalla hariyanne naha. Mata mokadda samajයට කරන්න පුළුවන්. I was waiting for the opportunity to do something to this world, but then there was no opportunity coming to me. And then suddenly I think it was the world, it was the WHO who called and said, look, we are trying to drive this message of people to properly wash their hands, and these guys are not seen to be. Can you help us out? Now here this person who sings for like 5,000 people, doing a lot of things. These guys are saying, can you teach them how to wash their hands? Like, then you start reflecting, these are simple things you and I do every day. But then this is somewhere I started again. I made a small clip of how to wash your hands properly. The journey started there. Then one day I get a call from the commander. He says, look, we have a problem, right? People are stuck in flats. People who are stuck in flats, they have gone bonkers. They are depressed. They have problems. They have too much violence. So we are trying to put the bands, right, and have shows for them, not because, they want to dance or enjoy. We just want to make them feel that people are going to them. We just want to make them feel that the outside world is still there in existence. So now this was a golden opportunity. And we took it. This call came to me very late in the night, around I think around 10:30, 10:45, 11 o'clock in the night, from the army commander saying, look, that made me realize once again, right? In your eyes, yes, brand, BNS, we are stars. But then, mukadda star realize we give people the mental satisfaction that is the core of what we do. So then we opted to take that. Then third step was people calling and saying, can you come and share your experience? Can you come and share, just like what we do?
Yeah.
So different faces started to appear. And using that, finally, we were approached to do this ad campaign for the Sri Lankan government called Itukama, which you all are seeing on radio, on TV. Then when that apita campaign එක කරන්න කියලා ආවොත් අපි කරන්නේ මේ වෙලාවේ ಜಾති ආලය තියෙන එකක්. අපි මෙහෙමයි ලංකාව හිට ගන්න ඕන. ඔතන තමයි අපි ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි මේ පාර අපිට මේ ආපු මේ සියලුම එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් වලින් මේ ජීවිතයට ආපු ඒ අලුත් පර්ස්පෙක්ටිව් එකකින් අපි හැදුවේ එක මනුස්සයාගේ ඉමෝෂන්ස් වලට සම්බන්ධ සින්දුව. මේ ඉටුකම කියන කැම්පේන් එක අපි වෙනුවෙන් අපි කියන්නේ මෙහෙමනේ. මේ කියන්නේ එහෙම එකක් නෙවෙයි. මේ කියන්නේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තියෙන දුක, මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තියෙන පර්ස්පෙක්ටිව් එක, මිනිස්සුන්ට දැන් වෙලා තියෙන සැබෑ දේ තමයි මේ ක්‍රියේෂන් එකෙන් එළියට ආවේ. Then on top of that, I also, as the professor said, we got a chance to go back to school days. අර ඉස්කෝලේ යන කාලේ ඉස්කෝලේ ඇරිලා අපි ඉස්සර ආපහු වෙනකොට ක්ලාසස් කියන්නේ මේ කාලේ කට්ටියට වගේ උගා ක්ලාසස් තිබුණේ නැහැ ඒ කාලේ. ඉතින් ගොඩක් ෆ්‍රී ටයිම් හම්බුණා ඉස්කෝලේ ඇරුණාට පස්සේ. ඒ කාලේ ඇවිල්ලා කරන්නේ වාඩි වෙලා මම පියානෝ එක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරනවා ඒකටත් chance එක හම්බුණා. So I got to go back to school in one way. So all these experiences changed that fast pace that I was used to, slowed me down, which showed me a different perspective of life, and which got me to go and start analyzing those small things that we have not been doing. You know, there were small things like I started to sweep again. Sweep කියන්නේ මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මම ඉස්සරහ තුබනවා පොඩි කාලේ පන්තියේ ඉන්නකොට ඉස්කෝලේ යන කාලේ. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ බාතියෙන් සම්පූර්ණ වුණාට පස්සේ ෆ්‍රී ටයිම් එක ගන්න නැහැ අදුවා. මම කිව්වා right okay මම කරන්න. මුළු garden එකම අතුනේ. Right? ඊළඟට there were certain these kind of things, these kind of equipment which were like they had to be cleaned up and broken. So I took screwdrivers and started doing that. So the whole life changed. You start appreciating little things like small jokes and things that you do at home. You usually don't enjoy them. We used to get together, we eat and we play card games. So little things in life played a big role during this time. And right now I am dreading to go back to the fast pace. I am telling you, I am dreading to go back to my normal life that I had pre-COVID. It's very strange. It's very strange. And also it's scary to a certain extent, but I am dreading that I will have to go back there. So this is the answer to you, Professor. This is how I personally absorbed this whole episode and how I really enjoyed this time. After the first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks was very scary, as I said. But then after the first 2 weeks, this new norm was really good. අපිට ඇති වෙන්න කාලය ඇඳලා ඉන්න හම්බ කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපිට ඇති වෙන්න අපිත් එක්ක ඉන්න එම්ප්ලොයිස් ළම තව year එකක් අපිට ඒගොල්ලන්ට salaries එහෙම දීලා අපිට ඉදිරියට යන්න පුළුවන් නම් මේ new norm එක ඇතුලේ අපිට අපේ මුළු restart එකම හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් එන්ජිම මං හිතන්නේ that will be something really good for us as human beings.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for that. Really wonderful.
So thank you, sir. And with that thing that you have mentioned, that the stressful conditions that we have faced during that time, so I would like to know that we have been withdrawn from our daily routines, and this time and sometimes it's making stress situations for ourselves. And what should we do to keep our mental health in a good condition with all these?
I think I answered you for this particular one that you asked me now. The answer was in the previous 2 answers I gave for the other questions as well.
And there's a popping up question as that they are asking about how we can have the music as a therapy for our lives during this period that we are stuck at home. And how would you recommend that we should use that as a thing?
I didn't hear you.
Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear now. Yes.
There's a popping up question that with these stressful situations that we can use music as a therapy, and as a musician, how would you recommend and how would you advise that how we should use music as a therapy to release our stress conditions and keep our mental health?
Okay, see, you can use again if I can answer it in a bit of a Sri Lankan way. අපිට දැන් සින්දුවක් හෝ සංගීතය අපේ ජීවිතයේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තරයක් කරගන්න ක්‍රමවේද තියෙනවා දෙකක්. එකක් තමයි ක්‍රියේටර් කෙනෙක්ගේ පර්ස්පෙක්ටිව් එක. ඊළඟ එක තමයි අර ෆෑන් කෙනෙක්ගේ පර්ස්පෙක්ටිව් එක. ඒ කියන්නේ ක්‍රියේට් කරපු දෙයක් අපිට පුළුවන් අපිට ආදේශ කරගන්න. දැන් අපි songs ගත්තාම අපේ මුළු ජීවිතේම කියන්නේ අපි ඉස්කෝලේ යන කාලේ ඉඳන් අපිට එන්න හයිසින් මුකුරා යන්න අපේ ජීවිතේ ගීත 10ක් පමණ තියෙනවා අපේ එක එක ඉමෝෂන්ස් වලට එන්ටැන්ගල් වෙච්ච. ඒතනින් සමහර ගීත තියෙනවා when we hear those songs for some reason we become really sad. Why? Because that song is associated with a sad episode in our life.
Yeah.
right? That is number one. There are other kind of songs which make us happy. Some songs make us really adrenaline, you know, it starts pumping. We want to go and do things. There are some songs which make us happy and dance. So we have different songs. Each of us have that. Those are our go-to songs when we want to either be happy, sad, or you know, really motivated or patriotic or whatever. So in these kind of situations, when you what is this? This is out of the topic. How do you see the connection between physics to music and the industry? I will talk about the industry now. She asked me about how can you use this for stress. This is the question. Okay, she has sent me a private message on the chat. So I will talk about that, since she asked me about how to, you know, how to talk about stress and stuff like that. I will answer that first. So what you need to do is, when you are experiencing an emotion and you want to change the whole thing, you need to go to your go-to songs, and you need to go to your go-to music. And also, if you're a creator, right, it's very easy. It's not like a go-to thing. You can sit down, you can make music, you can basically go out and express yourself, and that would be an answer to your stress.
So with that, shall we answer that question too that she has sent?
Can you ask her to ask me that? Because see, the way that she has posted this, I'm not too clear on what I have to answer. Can you ask her to re-ask me that question on the group or something like that?
Okay. So can you please re-ask that question so we can have that? Okay, she is posting that this is not related with COVID-19 pandemic issue. So she is asking that how can we figure out our talents which can use to be brand name?
Which you can create a brand name? Okay,
yeah.
So it's a very simple thing. How this whole thing works is, you need to first, right? So say for example, it's a very similar way that pre-COVID, how you wanted to do things. So now if you take us, right, I'll explain to you an example, and then I will basically and then I will explain to you. So when we started off, the main reason why we wanted to do songs was not because we wanted to be a hit, or not because we wanted to go out there and be a major star or something like that. The reason why we made what we did was api school yana kale, right? When we used to go to school, ape school okkoma tika aragattahama, there were 3 sets of people. One set was බොහොම ලාංකික එක්ස්ට්‍රීමිස්ට්ලා ටික. ඒ කියන්නේ ලංකාව පමණමයි. ඔව් අපේ දේ හොඳයි. හැබැයි අපේ දේම විතරක් හොඳයි කියලා කියන්නත් බෑ. එතකොට ඉතුරු සෙට් එකක් හිටියා මේ පැත්තේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඇවිල්ලා ග්ලෝබල් වෙන්න හදන සෙට් එකක්. They think that Sri Lankan is not good, it's all global things are the good thing. But then there was an 80% group of people who are right there, who are right in the middle of the whole thing. They were Sri Lankan, but they wanted to be global, they wanted to be normal. But as you know, even when you go to your university, ඔය 180ට සද්දයක් නැහැ. ඔය 180 කතා කරන්නෙත් නැහැ. සද්ද දාන්නේ ඔක්කොම අර මං කිව්ව ඉතුරු කොන් දෙකේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සු ටික. This is like you go to a classroom, right? If I want to organize some sort of a sports kind of a event, I go to a classroom and I ask them, what is the sport that you like? So there are 4 people, they like hockey, and මේ 4 දෙනාට සද්දේ තියෙනවා ගොඩක්. සද්දේ වැඩි ඉන්නේ ස්ථාන 4ක. එතකොට වෙන්නේ මෙයා හොකි කියන අපි ඔටෝමැටික්ලි හිතනවා මේ මුළු 40 මාස හොකි වලට කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි හොකි මැච් එක ඕගනයිස් කරොත් අපිට මොකද වෙන්නේ? There won't be people at the game. This is the similar situation with youth. when we used to be young. එක කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා මේ සිංහල පමණයි හෝ දෙමළම විතරයි. අපේ එක විතරමයි හොඳ. එක කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා නෑ අපේ එක තමයි ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ දේවල් එකක්වත් හොඳ නෑ. ජාත්‍යන්තරයේ තියෙන දේවල් පමණයි හොඳ. 180ක් ඉන්නවා මේකටත් ආසයි අපේකමත් ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ දේත් එක්ක ග්ලෝබලි වලට යන්න ඕනේ. මේගොල්ලන්ගේ සද්දයක් නෑ. අපි හිටියත් ඔය 180 අතර අපේ පැෂන් එක අපේ හાર્ට් එකේ පැෂන් එක ඔතන තමයි අපේ ඉෂුව එක තිබුණේ. අපි දෙන්නගේ පැෂන් එක තිබුණේ ඔතන. අපි දෙන්න අපේ ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට තිබිච්ච ඒ ඉෂුව එකට උත්තරයක් හොයන්න අපි සින්දු හදුවා. දන්නේම නැතුව අපි ඇඩ්‍රස් කරේ ඔය 180ට. ඊට පස්සේ ඕක නිකන් හයි ෆයර් එකක් වගේ ගිහිල්ලා ඕගොල්ලෝ අද එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් කරන මේ යූත් එක අද එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් කරන මේ ඒ කියන්නේ Facebook වල යන social media, all these trends and how the industry has changed, it all sparked out with that one idea. So what we did was we identified a problem, right? And we did not come out with an answer that everybody was saying. හැමෝම මේකට හොයන උත්තරේ නෙමෙයි අපි හෙව්වේ. අපි හෙව්වේ අපිට ඒ වෙලාවේ කරන්න පුළුවන් හොඳම යුනික්ම උත්තරේ. එතකොට දැන් මේ වෙලාවෙත් it's the same thing. What you need to know is you have to identify a problem. Then that becomes your passion. Then once you have that passion, then you have to have a vision, you have to have a vision, then you have to have a strategy and a plan. That is how you come up with brands. That is how you come up with, brand new products. So then what we did was, if I can just explain to, okay, hold on. So normally we say that new generation don't care about tradition and don't. What do you think about? Okay, I will answer that question as well after this. So what happens is, when you have that passion about a certain issue, see, everybody in this world, by the fact it's an artist, it's an app developer, it's a computer company, it's an agriculture company, right? It's an engineer. People who have come out with brands are people who are very, very passionate about solving a problem. So we were passionate about solving that problem of that gap that we had at that time. මේ පැත්තේ ඉන්නවා බොහොම ලාංකික සෙට් එකක්, මේ පැත්තේ ඉන්නවා මේ ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් කියලා අපේ දේ ආකන් දාන සෙට් එකක්, අතර මැද්දේ සෙට් එකට මොකක්ද අපි දෙන උත්තරේ. ඕක තමයි අපේ මේන් එක. ඊට පස්සේ ඕක කරාට පස්සේ we found out that there was a massive opportunity in the industry, because when we came to the entertainment industry, all the other industries, again, phone companies, banking companies, say agriculture, chemical, right? Chemical, accounting, all those companies had a structured industry. Entertainment did not have a structured industry. So we saw a massive opportunity to structure this industry, make it into a corporate and build a brand. So it all starts with passion, and then you have to have a vision. So this is what you need to entertain, say to really establish a brand. Okay, now wait, what do we know? Wasting time for the wrong path.
Yeah, they have put questions there.
Okay, that question I will tell you with this.
Yeah.
See, there is nothing called a wrong path. Harida, all people who have changed the world, who have made big brands, ඒ කියන්නේ ව්‍යාපාරිකයෙකුගේ ව්‍යවසායකයෙකුගේ තියෙන ලොකු වෙනසක්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ව්‍යාපාරිකයෝ වෙන්න හදන්න එපා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ව්‍යවසායකයෝ වෙන්න හදන්න. මොකද මෙතන වෙන්නේ wrong path කියලා දෙයක් නැහැ. If your heart says what you're doing is right, follow it through until the end. Sometimes you might fail, right? But that is an experience for you to start again, because everybody who has done great things in this world are people who have gone, right, opposite to what is happening right now. They don't go with the flow. දැන් අපි පටන් ගන්න කාලෙත් අපිට අම්මලා තාත්තලා වුණත් මගේ අම්මා තාත්තා මට කියලා තියෙනවා මෙච්චර ඉගෙනගෙන ගෲප් කාර්යයක් වෙන්න බෑන්ඩ් කාර්යයක් වෙන්න යන්නේ ඇයි? but then මම ඒගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වේ මම ඉගෙන ගත්ත දේයි මගේ ක්‍රියේටිව් එක එකතු කරාම මට පේනවා මේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේ there is a massive gap. We can bridge this gap, and also this is still not a proper structured industry. So I see a lot of opportunity there, and I still kept going. We still kept going. හැබැයි ඒ යන මාර්ගයේදී තමන්ට කිට්ටු අයට right hurt කරන එක පුළුවන් තරම් අඩු කරා. පුළුවන් තරම් මං කියන්නේ hurt වෙනවා ඒ මිනිස්සුන්ට. අම්මලා තාත්තලාට පටන් hurt වෙනවා මොකද ඒගොල්ලන් කියන දේ අපි කරේ නැත්තම් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන අර dream එක අපි කරන්නේ නැත්තම්. හැබැයි තමන් දන්නවනම් තමන් කරන්නේ හරි දෙයක් කියලා කාටවත් හානියක් කරන්නේ නැහැ කියලා right believe in yourself, because when we came out අපිට බැන්න පුදුම කියන්නේ අපිට ගොඩක් කට්ටිය බැන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ සංස්කෘතික විනාශ කරනවා සාහිත්‍ය විනාශ කරනවා ඕමෝම අපිට බැන්න. හැබැයි අපි ඒ වෙලට අහන question එකක් තමයි අපේ එක ගීතයක තියනවාද කාට හරි ගහන්න මරන්න අනින්න කොටන්න කියලා නැහැ. අපේ එක ගීතයක තියනවාද ස්මෝක් කරන්න බොණ්ඩ නැත්තම් අනම්මනම් මේ ස්මෝක් කරන්න කියලා නැහැ. අපේ එක ගීතයකවත් අසභ්‍ය වචන තියනවද නැහැ. ඉතින් අපි ඒක හොඳටම දන්නවා අපි කරන්නේ හොඳ දෙයක්. ඉතින් ඒක බිලීෆ් එක තියෙනවා නම් any industry, maybe you want to do something completely unrelated, you want to do you want to establish a cleaning company, do it with passion.
So there's a question that is directed to me from one of the participants, and he has mentioned that BNS came to the industry in 1998, and it was mainly the last part of the tech inventing decade of the world. After they came to the scene, they have invented so much in music industry, but with the time when they climb the ladder, I am wondering how they keep their passion of inventing new things, because it is really hard to make your mind after certain success to work so hard. Mainly many people, they just maintain their situation in the comfortable zone. I'm wondering how much hard it is to come out of the comfortable zone once you made $1 million brand.
Okay, now
So I hope you get the question.
This is a very interesting question, and mama මේ question එකට මම දෙන answer එක අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා කෙනෙක් තියෙනවා this was Aruna Fernando who is asking.
Aruna Fernando.
Normally we say that the new generation don't care about the old generation and respect, and there is a gap between the generation. මම ඕකයි මේකයි දෙක එකට දාලා තමයි මම මගේ උත්තරේ දෙන්නේ.
Okay, sir.
See, this is some advice that I want to give you guys as well through my experience. Now, when we came out with our brand in 1998, right? A lot of my age people, so I'm 44 years now, right? A lot of my age people really gathered around this, and they used to say, youth එක ඒ කාලේ youth එක මම මේ කියන්නේ ඒ කාලේ youth එක අපේ අම්මලා තාත්තලා මෙහෙම කියනවා අපි මේකට rebel කරන්න ඕනේ අපි අලුත් දෙයක් ෂා ඕගලන්ගේ සින්දු ලස්සනයි පරණ සින්දු හොඳයි හැබැයි අපිට මේවා අපේ පපුවට වදිනවා. This was what they said. Unfortunately, most of the same age people as me today, they sound like my father or my mother. මම මේ කියන්නේ මගේ අම්මයි තාත්තයි ඇත්තටම නෑ එහෙම මම මේ කියන්නේ ඒ කාලේ හිටපු අම්මලා තාත්තලාගේ 180ක් වගේ. Right? they තාම කියනවනේ old is gold. හරිද? භාතිය සන්තුෂ් ඒ කාලේ සින්දු තමයි හොඳ. මට අපිට මාර ෆීලිං එකක් එනවා. ඒ කාලේ සින්දු ආපුවා. මේකට හේතුව වෙන්නේ අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ අපේ ආසාවල් අපි හොඳයි කියලා හිතන දේවල් අපේ එක්ස්පීරියන්සස් ඔක්කොම අපි හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ අපේ youth එකත් එක්ක. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට song එකක් පපුවට ඇයි දැන් එන්නේ දැන් say for example it's not for me, for you guys. මොකද මේ කාලේ තමයි ඕගලන්ට affairs තියෙන්නේ, girlfriends ලා ඉන්නේ, boyfriends ලා ඉන්නේ. ඔගොල්ලෝ හොරෙන් එහෙම යනවා අම්මලට තාත්තලට කියන්නේ නැතුව හොරෙන් පහිනවා එළියට පැනලා girlfriend boyfriend ලා යනවා trip. හරිද? ඕගොල්ලෝ experience කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ කන බොන දේ ඉඳන් experience කරන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ දැන්. Right? You all are having the most beautiful moment of your life. So ඔය කාලේ මම අර ඔයගලන්ට ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වේ ඔය කාලේ ඇහෙන ඇතුළට දාගන්න දේවල් ඔක්කොම associate වෙලා තියෙන ඔය experiences එක. right? එතකොට ඉබේම තමන්ට ඒ සද්ද ඇහෙනකොට අර experiences ටික තමයි experience කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ සින්දුවේ හොඳකමක් හෝ මොකක්වත් පැත්තකින් තියන්නකො. ඒ ශබ්දයට විද්‍යාත්මකව තමන්ගේ අර තියෙන emotions ටික පට ගාලා අපව වෙනවා. ඉතින්
ඒකට relate වෙන situation එක තමයි මතක් වෙන්නේ.
situation. So you need to know that මේ අපේ generation එක හොඳයි අපේ generation එක හොඳයි කියලා කෑ ගහන එක it is very subjective. It is very subjective. මගේ තාත්තා ඒ කාලේ මට කියනවා අපිට මාර freedom එකක් තිබුණා. අපි ඒ කාලේ අත්තලගේ අත්තම්මලගේ ගම්වල දුවලා පැනලා කුඹුරු වල මේව කරා. හැබැයි ඕගලන්ට experience එක නැහැ නේ කියනවා. හරි අපිට කුඹුර දුවලා ගියේ නැහැ. I used to play cricket on the road. I used to play cricket on the road with my friends. හැබැයි ඒ කුඹුරේ දුවලා ගියේ නැහැ කියලා was I sad? No. Because I didn't know that experience. But I really enjoyed playing cricket on the road with my friends. Now, my small one, my daughter, they play all these, they go online and they play these online games. I can see them having a lot of fun. And I sometimes tell me, you're not having fun. But is she sad? No, she's not sad. She's happy. අපි හදලා දීපු environment එක නෙමෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ මගේ තාත්තලාගේ කාලේ මිනිස්සු හදපු environment එකකින් ඉඳන් අපිට road එකේ cricket ගන්න උනේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි හදලා දීපු environment එකකින් ඉඳන් මේ ළමයින්ට game ගන්න උනේ. හරිද? So you are partly responsible for that. So this is very, very subjective. So what we need to know is even a brand, a company, you have to innovate. Right? You have to innovate, keep redefining, because you have to always know අද දවසේ ඇහැරුණාම තමන් හොඳට දැනගන්න ඕනේ I was a star or I was a superstar or my company was a successful company yesterday, but my company has to be a successful company tomorrow. So that means I have to re-innovate today, because being a star yesterday is of no importance for being a star in 2 days time or being a star tomorrow. It's a process. It's a continuous process. So what happens is you need to know that everything that you do has to relate to the present generation. Right now, it's your time. මේ අද යන ලෝකේ අපිට සාර්ථක වෙන්න නම් අපි කේට කරන්න ඕනේ ඕගලන්ට. මගේ අම්මලට නෙවෙයි, මගේ වයස ඇයට නෙවෙයි ඕගලන්ට. මොකද ඒකට හේතුව ඕගොල්ලෝ තමයි තව අවුරුදු 10කින් 15කින් මේ ලෝකේ දුවවන මිනිස්සු. So every new innovation has to come to cater to the present generation, right? දැන් මම ව්‍යාපාර පැත්තෙන් ඕක කියන්නෙත් නෑ, ක්‍රියේටිව් පැත්තෙනුත් කියන්නේ මම මගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකකින් දෙකකින් කියන්නම් ඕක. So say for example, when we came, we used to wear those big clothes, අර තඩි hip hop t-shirts, hip hop pants, ඔක්කොම it was all big. Right? There was no slim cut jeans. The ones that you all wear. උඩින් මෙහෙම ඇවිල්ලා අන්තිමට හීනි වෙලා කකුලට හිර වෙලා අපිත් අඳින්න that stage. Right? We didn't used to wear any of those joggers. We were used to that whole hip hop feel of those big clothes, big thing. I used to wear those clothes until 2010 or 12. Then what 12 වෙනකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ දැන් අඳින අර ඒ කියන්නේ අර දැන් තියෙන ඔය ඒ කියන්නේ උඩ ලස්සනට තියෙන වෙලාව පල්ලෙහා හීනි වෙලා ඊඩි සුරුට්ටු වගේ වෙන ලුක් එක ඇවිල්ලා ඉවරයි. Right? ඊඩි සුරුට්ටු ඇවිල්ලා ඉවරයි. But now we were not changing into it. So in our office, we always take young people to our office as interns. So there was this young intern who was about 18 or 19ක් විතර ඉස්කෝලෙන් අත්සච්ච ගමන්. එයා උදේ ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වා මේ අයියා, he used to call me අයියා, though I had a big age gap with him. ඒ කියන්නේ අයියා ඔයාව පෑන්ට්ස් දෙක අඳින එක දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් අතාරිමුනේ, මොකද BNS ට ඔහොම යන්දාම ටිකක් දැන් it's not right, it's not in the present context. So I asked him what. So then he took out the computer and showed me, "Here, these are called joggers. And අයියා මේ ඕගලන්ගේ කාලේ අඳින්නේ ඔය පාට අර blue එකෙත් නිකන් light blue එක ඇඳේ කාලේ. Then it was dark blue. Now the trend is dark blue. So මේ dark blue එක ගන්න බැරිද? I said okay. මං ඊට පස්සේ මිනිහට මොකුත් කිව්වේ නෑ. මම ඔක්කොම අහන් ඉඳලා කෙලින්ම එදා හැන්දෑව I went to a shop. I bought 4 pants of 4 joggers. Weekends පහක් විතර මම ඕක ඇඳලා at home so that I would become comfortable. හැබැයි the beautiful thing about it is you wear it for about 5 weeks, you really get comfortable. Now I can't wear those old pants. And then the same, when we were doing our new album, අපේ අලුත් album එක අපි ඔබ නිසා album එක කරද්දී we had a problem. When we were doing the ඔබ නිසා album, what we failed to realize was YouTube and Instagram were the 2 big things back then. It was not TV radio, because we were very big on TV radio. So we really didn't concentrate on YouTube or Facebook. FB, of course, yes, we did, because FB was also big at that time. But IG and YouTube we did. ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවද 2018 වල අපේ YouTube එකේ හිටියේ subscribers ලා 12,000 subscribers. Right? And on Instagram we only had about 8,000 or 8,000 and then when we made the album we realized, no, look, we need to speak to the younger generation. So then what I did was I called my small one, I called my daughter and said, let's make a playlist together. 1 song of hers, 1 song of mine, 1 song of hers, 1 song of mine. So she automatically chose trap, EDM, hip hop, the brand, the brand new hip hop, you know, a lot of things that I couldn't absorb. But for 1 year it played in the car and I was in it. Now you play, yeah, right? Now if you can play me a song like that, I will do much better than you on the floor, right? So you really absorb it and you really see their perspective of why they really liked it. Then what we did was, අපි දෙන්න compose කරාට සින්දු ටික අපි දෙන්න ඒක අධ්‍යක්ෂය කරාට අපේ ස්ටුඩියෝ එකේ producers ලා අපිත් එක්ක වැඩ කරේ ඕගලන්ගේ වයස ළමයි. So it was 1 or 2 years of coming to a fresh perspective of things. Sometimes I might say this, you know, groove is cool, but then the guy would say, yeah, the groove is cool, but let's not use that particular tone. And it gives you fresh perspective. So this is how we look at our creatives, and this is how we look at our companies as well. This is a continuous change and you have to stay in context. So when you stay in context, automatically, right, you start to bring in new things. Thus you start to innovate and innovate and innovate. And this is a continuous process. This doesn't stop. Make ara කියන්නේ මේක අර it's like, you know, you becoming reborn like rebirth එකට යනවා වගේ issue එකක් මේ. This is a never ending process. You only stop this if you want to stop everything that you are doing and exiting the industry. If you want to exit, yeah, right, if you want to exit, you can do that, but the continuous process happens like this.
So with that, there's a question popping up from Huvini Hasadara. As you mentioned, stepping back from the fast track life we earlier had is introduced, and working from home and remote working is giving us spend more time with our families and ourselves. As an entrepreneur, what is your view on moving into a more digital working environment? Is it good to good solution for work and personal life balancing?
Okay, so I will put it like this. See, moving into a digital platform is good and bad both, because you don't get to meet people, you don't get to, you know, really do things. But as Sri Lankans, I think this COVID brought in something good for us. See, though we say that Sri Lankan corporates and Sri Lankan companies had moved in to this brand new world of, you know, email, WhatsApp, you know, YouTube, social media and everything, lot of the companies didn't apply this to the basics. Like if I tell you little things, right? for a brief now, for a company such as ours, there are corporates that we work with, some of the biggest corporates. So these corporates are all over Sri Lanka. Like it takes about 2 hours to go to one guy's company and a factory. Then there's another half an hour to another guy. Maybe it's in the, you have to go upwards, you have to go downwards. So a lot of these companies used to call you for everything, meetings, which was a waste of time. So the first thing that I did was after, Zoom started really, we started to use Zoom extensively. What I did was I called most of those CEOs and said, look here, don't call us for briefs anymore. We're going to do everything on Zoom. Maybe one meeting prior to executing the project will come there because you really need that human interaction. So moving in digitally, as she said, gives us that space and the time to run fast, but not to waste unnecessary time that we can spend at home. So this COVID brought about that, that kind of realization to Sri Lankan corporates, which I think is really super. USA, all these other countries, they use this. They were using these kind of technologies for a long time, but for us, using these will give us more time with our, our mothers, our brothers, our wives, our children. It will give us that space. So this is something really good. And this is something, if we effectively use it, Sri Lanka can cut down a lot of costs, which will also have a huge impact on its economy. Because right now, our economy is bleeding for so many reasons. But also, one part of the bleeding is unnecessary costs, like fuel, like wasting energy. We have a lot of waste. So this would block that or bring that down to a bare minimum. So technically, this is a golden opportunity for the whole country.
Of course. So there's two questions popping up, and we can also relate them to what we discussed previously. Like when we get stressed, we normally tend to listen music, and music increases stimulation and it improves the motivation to get rid stress. And there's one question also: what makes a song motivational? Rhythm, melody, chords, and all. What do you think?
Motivation. See, motivation again, it's a perspective. අර මං කියන්නේ හැම එකම බොහොම සාපේක්ෂයි. කියන්නේ මෙහෙම කියලා හරි දෙයක් කියලා මේ ලෝකේ කියන්නේ මේක තමයි විතරයි හරි කියලා දෙයක් නැහැ. Motivation to me is a very aggressive beat. But for others, maybe it's a very calming beat. So when I do a motivational song, I might use a very aggressive approach to it. Like, Sri Lanka Mata, if you take Sri Lanka Mata, you take that. But then there are other songs which are really motivational. Happy. Okkoma Rajavaru, Okkoma Vasio. Ekataking Mara motivational. So there is no formula to it. It's all about your emotions.
So there's another resource person joining with us today, Dr. Jannaka Vijaykulasuriya. Yes. So we can connect him now. So how are you, sir? And I hope you can add something, some ideas to this conversation.
Fine, thank you. And good evening, Bhatia. And also thank you for
thank you for inviting me here today.
Okay, and thank you for inspiring this young generation at a time like this. And in Bhathia's speech, there was something missing, right? Bhathiakin දැන් ඇහුවනේ එක මෙහෙම කරන්නේ කොහොමද අරගෙන එක. Bhathia පොඩි ගුරු මුෂ්ටියක් තියාගෙන තමයි කිව්වේ මම මේ ගුරු මුෂ්ටිය කියන්නේ. Few months back, I think around 6 months back, I met him because he came for an event like this in Kandy with Peter Almeida. I think you remember.
Yes.
So during lunchtime, I was talking with Bhatia, and then now you all know Bhatia as a musician and a big guy in the music industry. But there he was talking about totally different topics, right? he was talking about a topic called as actuaries. Right? And I was into data science a bit, so I also have learned this is one of the recent trend in the world. And what I realized at that point is this guy is really updated. Right? To be honest, when I went back and told about the actuaries to some of our guys, they didn't know about it. They haven't even heard about it. Right? So one key factor that you can learn from Bhatia for the success of his music as well as other ventures, I think he's up to date. Right? He looks around and try to get himself updated. So that is something I also learned from him. So can you add on to that, Bhatia?
Okay, so
Being
I will not, Professor, specifically, Doctor, I won't go into the actuaries part, but if I can explain to you why that happens is, see, lot of us.
No, not actuaries.
Yeah, okay.
Actuaries, the importance of
to learn, yes. So see the way that I see, a lot of us, when we go to the extent of, you know, a particular subject that we do, we start to basically underestimate other jobs or other fields. It automatically happens to most of us. So we think that either you know, being a doctor or an engineer or whatever, mathematician, or maybe a professor, all those jobs are there, and all the other jobs, like say for example cleaning, right? Cleaning, we don't take much notice of it. But have you noticed there are some people who are really, really good at cleaning, some people who are really bad at cleaning, right? So what you do is you take every profession, for me, is an art. I think that all of us are, like, in some or other way, all of us are doing art, like say the art of law, the art of accounting, the art of human resources, the art of cleaning, the art of running, the art of playing cricket, and we are doing art of making music, right? This whole world, the processes that a lot of people do, it's beautiful to see. It's very fascinating. Any job is a fascinating job. Okay, why do you think that when somebody sweeps Hansala samane atugadiye mehema atugad api wo hitanne ඇයි ඒක අපි එක පැත්තකට විතරක් අතුගාලා ඔව් අපි ඇයි ඒක කරන්නේ නැත්තේ ඇයි අපි ඒව හිතන්නේ නැත්තේ now you're not an expert at that, but the guy who sweeps the temple, he's an expert at that. So and the way he holds the broom. So every job, every profession, a driver, maybe a guy in a shop, a guy who can sell very well. Now say for example, there are two shops. Ek shopkeeper, he can't sell very well. Other shop, the guy is doing a lot of business these days. Why? Because for the other guy, it's a passion. He knows my need. He knows that my small one, again, that shopkeeper knows that my small one, එයා ආස මේ අයිස්ක්‍රීම් එකට, එයා කණ්ඩ කැමති මේ ලොලු ටික, එයාගේ බර්ත්ඩේ එක තියෙන දවස, ඒ මනුස්සයාට ඔටෝමැටික්ලි මිනිහා අපිත් එක්ක කතා කරලා ඒව දැනගන්න. අර මනුස්සයා එහෙම නෑ, ෂොප් එකේ ගියාම මොකක් හරි එකක් තියෙනවා, ඒක දීලා සර් මේකයි ගාන මෙච්චර. So any given job. So don't underestimate any profession, any subject. Don't think that that subject is easier than yours, or a hard subject is, you know, beyond hot up. No, all of us are playing a role in this world, and try to appreciate everybody. Then you will automatically start analyzing, reading about it, looking at things differently, and appreciating people's jobs. Then you learn new things every day. The moment you learn, like say for example, මම අර sweeping කතන්දරේ කිව්වේ, ඔය sweeping එක ගැන හොයන්න යනකොට ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩාක් දේවල් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඇයි මේ මොකක් හරි broom එකක ඇයි මෙහෙම අල්ලන්න ඕනේ? එතකොට ඒකේ ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට විද්‍යාත්මක පැත්තෙන් ගත්තාම ඇයි අපි මෙහෙම අල්ලන්නේ නැතුව මෙහෙම ඇල්ලුවොත් ඇයි ලේසි අතු ගන්න. ඔය ඔක්කොම හිතන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. So everything is connected. So that is my approach, doctor, in anything. So to me, my cook or my cleaner or my gardener in office or whoever, we are all doing a very serious job. So then you want to learn everybody's craft. You want to learn bits and pieces of everybody's craft so that you can understand those people and you can assist them to do their job well, and they can assist you in some way to do your job much better than what you're doing.
So thank you, sir, for your comment.
I think
and also thank you, Bhatia.
He wants to say
Okay,
something.
sir.
Sir, yes, you were saying something, sir.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to add one thing to him. Now he was talking about sweeping. If you ever try to අර පන්සල් වලින් මතක ගන්නේ පොල්ලතරටාව කියලා එකක්. මේ දවස්වල ගෙදර ඉන්න ගමන් ඔක නිකන් අතු ගන්න බලන්න. හරි විදියට ඉඳලා ඇල්ලුවේ නැත්තම් කුණු ටික එනවා කකුලට. මාත් ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අතු ගාව දවසේ කුණු ටික කකුල. ඊට පස්සේ තාත්තා තමයි ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වේ මෙහෙමයි ඉඳලා අල්ලන්නේ ඔක අතු ගන්න. මේ පැත්තට අතු ගන්නකොට මෙහෙමයි අතු ගන්න. අනිත් පැත්ත හැරුණාම ආයෙ වෙන විදිහකට ඉඳලා අල්ලනවා. ඒ වගේ මේ පුංචි පුංචි
මම ඒක කිව්වේ.
අපේ මේ මාතර ලියනගේ කමරේ ඉන්නවා මෙතන. එයාගෙන් හොත් කිය මේ දවස්වල තුමා වගා කරනවා. ඉතින් මේ ළඟදී අපිට වෙච්ච දෙයක් අපි ගියා මේ ගුවන් විදුලි සංස්ථාවේ පොඩි කිල්පයකට එතන හිටියා මිනිස්සෙක් පුවක් ගෙඩි ටිකක් මම ඊටු ටික කියන්නේ කියලා මේ අපිට ආරාධනා කරනවා පුවක් කතාව.
Oh nee, ඔයාම කියන්න. Yeah, it's really interesting.
අපි අර මේ ගුවන් විදුලි සංස්ථාවේ ඉස්සරහ ලොබියේ ඉන්නකොට පුවක් වගේක් තිබ්බ එතන ට්‍රේ එක දාලා ඉතින් අපි දෙන්න වාඩිලා ඉන්න ගමන් මේක මේ එතෙන් ආපු හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක්ට ගෙනාව පුවක් ටිකක්. හැබැයි පුවක් ටික අමුතුයි ප්‍රමාණින් ලොකු. ඊට පස්සේ අමුනේ ඇහුවා ඒ එතන හිටපු ගොවියෙක් වගේ මිනිස්සෙක්ගෙන් මේ පුවක් වෙනස් නේද? ඔහොම කියලා අහපුවාම අපි දෙන්නට එදා නිකන් පුවක් ගැන ලොකු පාඩමක් ඉගෙන ගන්න හම්බුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒවා වගා කරන්න ඕනේ හැටි කොයි කාලෙද පුවක් ගෙඩිය පැල කරන්නේ. දැන් ඒ වගේ දේවල් ඇත්තටම අපි හිතන්නේ එහෙම මිනිස්සෙක් ළඟ ඉතර මේ දෙයක් තියෙනවා කියලා. ඉතින් අර මේ බාතිය කිව්වා වගේම
ඒ බාතිය මේ ඒ වගේ මේ අර එදිනෙදා ජීවිතෙන් the way you take examples from this everyday life is really fantastic. ඒවා මම හිතන්නේ that's your artist there, right? The artist in you. ඒවා මේ දැන් මම වුණත් අත්‍තරම කල්පනා කරේ අපිට කම්පැනි එක දෙයින් එක්කෙනෙක් කොහොම කියනකොට ක්ලීනින් කරන එක්කෙනා ගැන දැන් උදාහරණයකට අපි දැන් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට ගියා අපි ඊයේ පෙරේදා තේරා දිනේ අර ගොඩක් ස්කැපස් උද්‍යානයක් එහෙම තියෙනවනේ ඔක්කොම තනකොළ එහෙම අඩි 4-5 උස්ස ගිහිල්ලා. ඉතින් මමත් කල්පනා කර ආවේ අපි ප්‍රොෆෙසර්ස්ලා හිතනවා අපි තමයි වැදගත්ම මිනිස්සු කියලා අපිට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් අර ගාඩන් එක සුද්ධ කරන අය, තනකොළ කපන අය කොයිතරම් වැදගත්ද කියලා කියන එක මේ මම ඇත්තටම ඉගෙන ගත්තා මේ කාලේ. ඒ වගේම තමයි දැන් මම අපේ ගෙදර කුස්සියේදී එහෙම මම ඉගෙන ගත්ත දෙයක් තමයි පිහි එළවලු කපන පිහි එහෙම හොඳට කැපෙන්න ඕනේ නේද? එක අලුතෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා. You know, you are exposed to kind of new domains of your life and these kinds of times, and that kind of like lesson about your life, that's in a way is holistic education right there. We think that holistic education is some grand concept that we have to memorize and all that, but looking at life, especially I liked your phrase, Bhatia's phrase, that little things, our attention to little things, the things that we otherwise overlook, so important. Yeah, thank you for drawing attention to those minor details.
If I can explain to you, Professor, in my personal thing, I was actually about 2 weeks ago, අපිට ඇත්තටම දැන් ඔය දැන් අපේ ඉස්කෝලවල් වල එක්සෑම් කරලා ඒ කියන්නේ මේ තත්ත්වයට පාස් අවුට් වෙලා මේ වගේ තැන් වලට එන ළමයින්ට අමතරව අපිට පොඩි පොඩි ට්‍රේනින් කෝසස් තියන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒ කියන්නේ මම හිතන්නේ ඒ ඉස්කෝලේදී ගත්තාම දැන් ඔය ක්ලීනින් කියලාම අපි ගමුකෝ දැන් ක්ලීනින් ගැන කතා කරමු. අපිට දැන් ප්‍රශ්න වෙලා තියෙන දැන් අපේ ඔෆිස් එකක් වුණත් ක්ලීන් කරන්න කවුරු හරි එද්දී they don't have proper training. They don't know the proper tools. Now you go to some other country.
Yeah.
Maybe Australia or USA or wherever. Our shopping mall එකේ cleaners ලගාව තියෙන tools ටික දැකලා තියෙනවා. And they are well trained. They can clean a massive surface in 2 seconds. So if we can bring in this education to all sort of fields in this country, like the smaller ones, I don't mean like, okay, we do have like, you know, lawyers, doctors, engineers, accountants, hari. Mama me කියන්නේ පොඩි දේවල් වලට. Cleaning, gardening, gardeners la කියලා professional gardeners la අපිට හදන්න පුළුවන්. This will actually bring our whole Sri Lankan economy also to some, you know, to a very, very advanced place.
So there's another resource person, the lecturer, Mr. Malinda Hulugalla. I think sir also would add something to this.
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for Perabeats to organize this kind of activity during this pandemic and crisis situation. And also Mr. Bhathiya Jayakodi for joining this event as the resource person and giving a lot of inspiring and motivated thoughts to our undergraduates. And although the whole world is in a crisis, but again, a lot of good things are also happening at this time. As you have very correctly said, Mr. Bhathiya, this will be a temporary situation and it will finish very soon. And then during this time, with the time is passing, most of the people, and specifically the undergraduates, they have started something new for them. And some people are engaging in new innovations and some are starting online work and so on and so forth. So how can they keep this momentum to something new? Can you explore a little bit more about keeping this motivation or the momentum in the future as well for their life?
So as I said first, the general attitude that you have, like say for example, we have to come out of this mentality that once we pass out of the university or school, that we have to go for a job. ඔය job කියන word එකම මම ආස නැති word එකක් very personally. We should have a focus on what we are passionate about. It may be music or maybe engineering, maybe making a computer, maybe doing a program, right? And as I said, there was cleaning, maybe cleaning. So you can start a cleaning company after that. So what I'm saying is, when you are focused and passionate on what you want to do in life, I think that is the main ingredient which will keep you going even throughout these bad times. You should not let go of your passion, and also just because others say, you should not let it go or keep it aside and do other things. You have to continuously keep focusing on what you really love to do and keep hitting it. When you keep hitting it, one day you will hit it out of the field and it will be a sixer. So even right now, stay focused, explore brand new, experiment on brand new ways to do what you really want to do, and come up with various kind of, you know, combinations, various kind of permutations and combinations to really achieve what you want to do. So keeping that focus will really help you to stay on path even throughout this period and even after this period.
So with that, there's topic of questions from the audience. I think we can connect her now.
Yes.
So you can ask now.
Is she there?
Yeah, I suppose I got the message.
Okay, no problem. So if she comes
The
with,
host,
yes,
Kavindi.
the host has to unmute
Yeah,
her.
yes. Kavindi, she's Kavindi, and Kavindi, are you ready? I think she's ready. Okay, then if I think the host hasn't muted her. So as we are going with the time, there's some questions popping up through the chat, and then
Yes, you can ask me any question.
so these days we are feeling this laziness and anxiety, right? And because that we are used to be on a fast lane, and now that we have suddenly stopped, how and what do you implement to get through this laziness and anxiety? And what would you recommend us to do?
That question we answered, right?
Yes, we also answered that, but they are always popping up with the question. And
Okay,
there's a quick question.
Real fashion. There is
Yes.
one. Okay.
Real fashion, what is it?
Okay. So, how can we understand real fashion? Fashion is what you perceive is cool. It's not what other people perceive is cool. You need to make your own fashion. The moment you do that, you will see that people will be coming behind you and you will become the fashion icon. So again, once again, it's a simple theory. This is a general theory that I was explaining. So if you are passionate about anything, maybe fashion, maybe clothes, or whichever way, do something new for you to stand out, or for that thing that you are doing to stand out. That way you will become the fashion icon of that particular industry.
So
wait, there is another question.
There's another question related to about a lot of politics.
Yeah, what being an entrepreneur,
The entrepreneur or a businessman.
How should we survive? Okay, very nice question, and I really want to answer this question. A lot of people ask me, අපේම ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. මම ආපුවම මේ ඔයගලන් නෑ කලාකාරයෙක් වුණාම ඕනෙම ෆීල්ඩ් එකක් වුණාම අපිට පොලිටික්ස් අදාළ නෑ. අපි මේ පොලිටික්ස් ගැන බලන්නේ. I firmly don't agree with that. You know why? I'll tell you why. See, as artist මම මේක මේ අපේ අපේ තියෙන ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකෙන් මම කතා කරන්න. හැම ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකකටම අපි ජීවත් වෙන හැම දෙයක්ම අපි කරන හැම දෙයකටම ඒ කියන්නේ politics අදාළ වෙන්නේ ඇයි කියලා මම කියන්නේ. See, in our industry, if you take the entertainment industry, මේක මේ අනිත් industries වලට අදාළ වෙනවා. Entertainment industry has been the most exploited industry up to now in Sri Lanka. Right? I'll tell you why. The copyright law was not in place for the longest of times in this country. And why didn't some of the previous governments or the political establishments, they did not implement the political the copyright law is because the radio, TV and the media, the press, the media is an integral part of their existence. So what happens is the moment the copyright laws come in, right, it will be a detrimental thing for some of the medias. So in order to balance that out, they were not implementing it. Making une ape rate in creative කියන්නේ මම මේ කියන්නේ songs වලට අදාළව විතරක් නෙමෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ පොත් ලියන මිනිස්සු. right? කතන්දර පොත් ලියන මිනිස්සු. එතකොට සින්දු හදන මිනිස්සු. නටන හැම ක්‍රියේටිව් එකක්ම කරන, ඒ කියන්නේ හැම intellectual property වැඩක්ම කරන හැම මිනිස්සෙකුටම තියෙන opportunities අපෙන් ගියා. එතකොට අපිට තේරුණා ඕකේ එකක් තමයි අපි මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳන්නේ කොහොමද? අපිට ක්‍රමවේද දෙකක් තියෙනවා. අර ඕගලන්ගේ කැම්පස් වල ඉන්නවා කට්ටිය බෝඩ් අරගෙන කෑ ගහගෙන ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා පෙරියන් දීලා ගහගෙන ওই ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ හොයන්න හදනවා. ඒක මම හොඳ නෑ කියන්නෙත් නෑ. හරි නෑ කියන්නෙත් නෑ. ඒක එක ක්‍රමවේදයක්. අනිත් ක්‍රමවේද තමයි ඔළුව පාවිච්චි කිරීම. මොකද හොඳට දැනගන්න අපි අද ඉන්න ලෝකේ it's not a black and white world, it's a gray world. There are no black and white people in this world. Everybody is gray. Even you and I to a certain extent is gray. There is no black or white. ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර දේවල් අපිට තියෙනවා ඒවට කළුද සුදුද කියලා උත්තරයක් ඇත්තටම හොයන්න බෑ. ඒවා එච්චරට කොම්ප්ලිකේට් වෙලා කළුද සුදු. එතකොට මේ කළු සුදු නැති ලෝකේ අයිතිවාසිකම් දිනා ගන්න නම් කළු සුදු නැති ලෝකේ ප්‍රශ්නයකට උත්තරයක් හොයන්න නම් හොයන්න ඕනේ මොලෙන් මිසක් it's not from the heart, right? You need to engage in conversations deeply with the people who are ruling you. You need to engage in certain forums with these people deeply, because you know why? ඕනෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් අපිට උත්තරයක් හොයන්න නම් අපිත් එක්ක හැප්පෙන මිනිස්සයාගේ තියෙන මානසිකත්වයත් අපි අඳුර ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ මිනිහට මොනවද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න? එතකොට මම මේ ඉල්ලන උත්තරෙන් ඒ මිනිහාගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තව ටිකක් උග්‍ර වෙනවද? එතකොට ඒ මිනිහාගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ උග්‍ර වෙනවා නම් මම කොහොමද ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ උග්‍ර කරගන්නේ නැතුව මම කොහොමද ඒක වටෙන් ගියන්නේ? So මේ ඔක්කොටම you need to have close relationships with people either who rule you or either who have problems with you. So gone are the days where මේ පැත්තේ අය මේ පැත්තේ අර ඒ කියන්නේ අර හඩු එහෙම උස්සගෙන හඩු ෆයිට් වගේ වෝ එකක් තිබ්බ කාලේ දැන් ඉවරයි. The whole space is a gray space. There is no black and white in this world. So in this world that you all are coming out to, right? People who are ruling you and making certain decisions about you are very, very important, because they are the ones who can make our lives better or make it really miserable.
Yes, of course.
So because of that, politics is a very, very important subject in any trade, for students, right? For students, for lawyers, for accountants, for entertainers, for lecturers, for anything, for automotive industry. Politics is a very, very important thing. So having a conversation with those people, getting to know those people, really helps you sort out a big frame picture for any industry you're in. So that is why most of the industries, when you go up, your companies grow, at one point you have to interact with these people. So there are some people who say අපිට ඕක අදාළ නැහැ, අපිට දේශපාලන අදාළ නැහැ. ඒ කතා කරන්නේ පොඩි බබාලා. That is, you have not matured in life. When you mature in life, you start seeing that people who make decisions for you, they are very important, because they are the ones who can make your life good or bad. So that's the answer.
So there's a popping up question from the audience. I hope she can point it out now. Yes, Hilma?
Yeah, hello sir, I'm Hilma.
Hi Hilma.
Yeah, I have a question, and this is going to be a very tough question for you. Yeah. So can you tell us one word that best sums up you and your vision? One word.
One word?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think. හරිද මම ඒක හරියට දෙන්නත් එපා ඔයාට උත්තරේ one.
Yeah, I told you this is going to be a tough question for you.
Very difficult. 2 words. I can't give it in 2 words. No, I can't.
Yeah, it's okay.
No.
It's okay.
I'll give it in 1 word. Oh God, no! You put me in trouble. One word. What is the one word?
1 or 2, it's okay, sir.
Okay, my vision is, I'll tell you, and the one word is an answer. Answer is the thing. See,
Nice.
Now I'll explain it to you. What all of us are doing is answering, right, a question about a problem. We are giving a solution. So I'll say solution is also just one word.
Yeah.
All of us, අපි ගීතයක් හදන එකෙන් හරි භාණ්ඩයක් හදන එකෙන් හරි සර්විස් එකක් දෙන එකෙන් හරි අපි මොකක්ද අපි කරන්නේ? සමාජයේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නකට උත්තරයක් දෙන එක. So my vision and what I do is providing solutions.
Yeah, nice.
It's the same for you. It's the same for an engineer, same for a doctor, same for a shopkeeper, a pharmacist, a cleaner, a nurse, anybody.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So with that, I think she got her answer. And so I would like to ask, what will be your last words for our audience?
Well, same question. If you are doing a partnership, I'll answer that question as my last question there. But then, be honest, you are a doer. Yeah, it's the same. Many business industries.
Yes.
Okay. It's a very
the same.
Okay, so it's a very simple thing. How did our partnership? Wait, I have heard in terms of personal branding, been challenging. Be honest, how did you manage this? Okay. So I think that last question I have answered. I'll just go to the top one. So how do we maintain this partnership for 22 years is very simple. Like she asked me, one word answer is being objective. Because see, most of these partnerships, right, as I said, as students, you need to know that you have been, when you're born, you have a brain, you have a heart. Don't go to do the brain's job from the heart, or don't go to do the heart's job from the brain. When you fall in love with your heart. When you want to cry for a song or a movie, do it with your heart. But when you want to make, when you want to find a solution to a problem, don't find it with your heart, find it with your brain. You have to think about it. So this is the simple theory that myself and Santosh have been having. I'll give you a little bit of an example, then you'll really understand what I'm trying to say, with this whole persona. So see, most of the time, why do business and partnerships fall off? One is, see, we both have an objective. Ape objective එක වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? බාතිය හිට් වෙලා මෑන් කෙනෙක් වෙනවටද සන්තුෂ් හිට් වෙලා මෑන් කෙනෙක් වෙනවටද? නෑ, අපි දෙන්නගේම හැමදාම objective එක තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ. බාතිය and සන්තුෂ් කියන මේ brand එක හිට් වෙලා තියාගන්න. එතකොට දැන් මම stage එකේ අපි දෙන්නම මොකක් හරි සින්දුවක් කියද්දි හරි, if I get more praise on the day, he will think, hari kamak naha, baatiya hit vela hari sinduwa hit wenawa na ඒක භාගයක් එයාටත් අයිතිනේ. එහෙමම තමයි හිතන්නේ මම. සමහර වෙලාවට එයා හිට වෙන වෙලාවල් තියෙනවා මම එතකොට හිතන්නේ නැහැ. එයා හිට වෙන එකෙන් I will get a better position for my own song. So BNS කියන සින්දුවට මටත් අයිතියක් තියෙනවා. That is one way we think. ඊළඟ එක තමයි when we have a problem, we act like corporates. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඕගලන්ගේ තියෙන මේ ඕගලන්ගේ boyfriend කෙනෙක් හරි girlfriend කෙනෙක් හරි issues වලට ගොඩක් හේතු වෙන්නේ. අපි මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්නයකට උත්තරයක් හොයන්න තමයි අපි යන්නේ. දැන් හිතන්නකෝ අපි song එකක් හදනවා. අපි song එකක් හදද්දි ඔන්න කට්ටියම එකතු වෙලා මේ සින්දුව හදද්දි අපිට ඕනේ මේ සින්දුව hit කරන්න. right? එතකොට දැන් මේ සින්දුව hit කරන්න අපිට ඕනෙකම තියෙනකොට අපි මොකක් හරි subject එකකදී argue කරගන්න නෑ මේ beat එක මේ beat එක. ටිකක් වෙලා යනකොට argument එක දැන් ඔන්න ඕම යනවා. හැබැයි අපි හැම කෙනාටම ඕනෙම ප්‍රශ්නයකදී වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? අපි මොකක් හරි යම් කිසි හේතුවකට argument එකක් හෝ criticism එකක් පටන්ගෙන ඊළඟට අපිට වෙන්නේ ඔය point එකෙන් පයින්නවා. පැනලා ඔන්න කියනවා ඔයා දැන් අද විතරක් නෙවෙයි ඊයේත් කරේ ඕක. ඊට පස්සේ ටිකක් වෙලා යනකොට කියනවා ඔයා ඊයේ ගැන කතා කරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා මාසයක් කලින් යනවා. ඒතකොට ඔහොම ගිහිල්ලා අන්තිමට ඕක ඉවර වෙන්නේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට අදාළම නැති දෙයකින්. So ඒ වෙලාවට අපි කරන්නේ just like how corporate boardroom, right? They go into a boardroom, they will objectively argue about a lot of things, but then after that when they see that they are going out of context, they stop it. So අපි දෙන්නත් කරන්නේ ඒ argument එක ටිකක් out of context යනකොට අපි okay, let's stop, have a tea and come back in, have a coffee and come back in. When you come back, you again start your argument about the problem that you have in hand. So these are few simple ways that මම ඔයගලන්ට explain කරන්න ගත්ත පොඩිම examples ටික. This is how you can keep a business partnership or a band or a musical partnership for a long run. It's not about you, it's about the job at hand. When you make that the priority, you don't have too many problems.
So we hope that you all were able to get the best out of this session. And as the time is passing, we are about to wrap up the event. Before that, there's a small request from the audience, sir. That will you be able to sing a small part of one of your songs? There's a request coming from the audience for a song.
Okay, we'll do a song. Do you guys want a old song or a brand new song? You can come up on and say it on the chat.
Quickly, guys, you can request one.
I can do half of two songs.
They are requesting many, the both and old and the new. And Rusara coming up.
Rusara. Okay, so we have Unmadini Rusara. Okay, Rusara mata me vela kiya namari because Rusara is based with a lot of effects.
Yeah.
All that I can't do just with my raw mouth, but okay.
Unmadini, so it's maybe better we can go with Unmadini.
Apne Unmadini ke baage koi aikale yaad rahe kai kiya.
Okay, sir.
Rusara, I will do on a day that we again get to do shows.
Okay, definitely, sir.
First, okay.
Yes.
Just finding the track. Sorry, guys. I have to find the track and then do it. Hold on. Yes. Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think all can hear you clear and loud. Yes.
You can also hear this thing, no? The song?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, the track, yeah. Hanguna Anuraga de Singala Sundari Sukun Lochana Nase Numbe Gayana Denuan Sebu Radha Mage Angana Maldi Sugande Nalavi Veli Maldal Gotanni Vrundavane Dil Kalave Himidi Midi Koi Dai Vindinne Sanda Sue Rani Vultam Nina Vele Koi Darada Madini. Alright, thank you. I'll go to the next one.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let me stop this and get Obanisa out. Yes, here we go. Tere, Hibi baby do, Vimasugare, Adarayak Deluna, Ubama Atare, Kandulak Nodi, Ute Hava, Ubabak Kale, Ubamai Mima, Hadapatule, Arayum. Mavita Ewa Oh, 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 Thank you very much.
So, so that's the legend here with us today, with his all humbleness. And sir, we are getting a lot of comments to our chat box thanking you for the session.
Thank you very much. I can see all those things. Thank you very much, guys, for all those very, very sweet things that you all say. And thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Mr. Bhathiya Jayakodi, for accepting our invitation and joining with us today to give out an amazing session, make Oracle 2020 a success. And we have prepared a small appreciation for you, designed by our design team, and I hope that they can share it now.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. If you guys can basically share that with me on WhatsApp, I think your team will have my phone number. Please share that with me. Thank you so much for having me today. I really enjoyed this as well. And I hope that anything that I said which hurt anyone, please, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to, because I don't know. There are some speeches that I give, some people get hurt. But then if something like that happened, but then I'm glad that everybody that I see on this chat says that, you know, it was good and that you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. Thanks. See you then.
I hope that our sir, Kirti sir, also had something to add at the end. I think our host can unmute. I hope that it isn't getting unmuted. Yes, sir, you can.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Bhathiya, for all those wonderful words. And also, like, you are really energetic person and really nice person to interact with during these kinds of times. And I think you, like, everyone was inspired by your speech. And I have seen you on stage singing. I wish I met you in person, but, you know, I'm really glad that we
will meet
one day. Yes, yes, yes. But you are very much in our consciousness all the time. Thank you for being with us today. Yes.
So with that, I would like to thank Senior Lecturer Professor Liyanage Amarakirti, Senior Lecturer Dr. Janaka Wijekulasuria, and Lecturer Mr. Malinda Hulugalla for giving their immense support and guiding us to make this a success. And so we are about to wrap up the event, guys, and for giving. Finally, thank you all for participating, and we hope this session helped you a lot, and we will wrap up the event Oracle 2020, hoping to meet you all again through a live session soon. And until that, stay safe and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.